Welcome back to Disquiet Time. Ann and Kelly here, and we've got kind of a fun one today. We're going to be talking about the Appalachian Mountains and some of their connections to other parts of the world and between each other. So,
Right, because I've been seeing a lot of it on TikTok in particular that, oh, the Appalachian Mountains when it was Pangea used to be part of this bigger mountain range that spanned all the way into, like all the way up into Scotland in Europe. So, uh, what are the similarities? Do they have similarities? Do we have similar monsters or cryptids or stories coming from all these regions? I don't know.
well, what I've been looking at, I've been trying to dig into it a little bit. Let's start with the geology of it a little bit. Sorry, a little bit of cough there.
Yeah, I guess need to start with: is this even true? Was it
The
all part of one mountain range at any point in time?
Yes, geologically speaking, it does look like it's true
Okay.
that that is the case. There was this thing called the Central Pangean Mountain that then, as Pangea broke up, it became these mountain ranges stayed above water and became parts of the Highlands of Scotland, all the Appalachian in the United States, but also what TikTok's leaving out is the whole eastern side of Greenland, the western side of Finland, and the very western side, the Atlas Mountains in Morocco, were all a part
Way
of
down to
that
Morocco.
same, all the way down to Morocco. All of that was jammed up together. Now,
Okay.
I've been looking at a bunch of different sources. I've gone to a bunch of different sites looking at this. And what I found is that a couple of places reported that the Central Pangean Mountains formed around 480 ago. Quite a bit of time
How
ago
how
there.
how long? 480 what?
480 million years ago.
Wow. Okay.
And that
So
they
half a
split
billion
up.
years ago, give or take.
Right, give or take. And that they split up around 175 ago.
Okay.
That's when everything started to break apart and mountain ranges became parts of other continents. Um, in a couple of places, or I found that they said that Scotland actually split off of North America later than that, around 50 million years ago, and that it then kind of drifted across what would become the Pacific Ocean.
Oh.
But now I've been playing with, our friend sent us that link
Mm-hmm.
to, let me find it, dinosaurpictures.org, where you can
Right.
look at a
Right.
map. You enter an address, it drops a pin on it, and then you can go back to different parts, different times, and you can see then what everything looked like then. So I entered Scotland just because I can pick us out on the map, but Scotland's gonna be harder
Right.
when it's all jammed up together. And 470 million years ago, according to it, there was no Pangea, there was no Central Pangean Mountain. That started more like 4 million years ago, according to this, and
Oh.
then kept existing up through, you know, well, still, they're still now, but it looks like things started to split up again. Now, this tracks about 170, that it was this big, long chain of mountains. And then as it breaks up, it's these much smaller chains of mountains. So these are very, very, very old. The time depths don't necessarily match. But when we're talking hundreds of millions of years, I'm not super concerned about it.
Right.
Right. But this one indicates that this map, it looks like by 170 years ago, all of these ranges had been separate. So the Atlas Mountains, is it the Caledonian? Is that how you say it?
I
Caledonian? I'm probably
don't
mispronouncing
know.
that, but that's Finland. And then all this eastern part of what's now Greenland stuff. And also, it looks like um, some other mountains, like the Washita Mountains, the Marathon Mountains in West Texas, Washita in central Arkansas, that some
Hmm.
of these are peripherally related. Like they were underwater for a lot of this, but
Right,
they're
because they're just
kind of
not very
created,
high,
right, but
and
they
I
were
guess they
kind of
never will.
created like they were underwater mountains. They were when all these continents were squishing up together and making these mountains. they kind of existed too, but it was only later when there was like a major uplift of that whole area that they kind of came out of the water.
Okay.
But so they're not considered a part of it directly like that. And that's, I guess technically that's why they don't have the same. So
Okay. Okay. Because I know like the Washita's and the Bostons and stuff do have some cultural ties to Appalachia, but they
absolutely.
don't
Um,
have geographic ties in the same way.
no, that
Okay.
apparently there's some relation just in that when everything got crunched up and crinkled up, that was happening there too. But with the underwater processes, it's geologically very different. It came up out of the water at a different time.
Right.
Though cryptids wise, Washita does have its fair share. But culturally speaking, you're right. You can see it. You can see it in language. You can see it in other cultural pieces from the East Coast, from the original colonies. You can
Mhm.
see how those colonies kind of spread west. And that southern Appalachia is what we think of when we say Appalachia. We're not thinking Vermont usually, but it's all the way up
Right.
there. It's up into Canada. Uh, but there's a big chunk, and that chunk culturally is heavily Scottish in origin. And linguistically, that pans out. And then that chunk is what flowed over this way to west of the Mississippi, a large amount. The things get a
Right.
lot more muddled once you start crossing the Mississippi. Linguistically, you start seeing a lot more. But we're still heavily influenced by that early English and Scottish and Irish culture that came over.
Right. Right. They kind of headed west
So
till they hit the first sort of mountains and
right. And
branched
then
off.
once you get west of that, it's just purely muddled. But
Yeah.
up to the Mississippi and a little bit past where we are, geographically speaking, you can see very much that. So there's cultural ties, not just geographic ties between those two regions. But we don't have super strong cultural ties between those other parts of these central Pangean mountains, the eastern Greenland, the western
Right.
Finland, the western Morocco. And looking into cryptids there, what I could find, I couldn't find a whole bunch, but they're very different.
Okay.
So I have two, two ideas about this.
Okay.
I mean, the first one, I am by training a cultural anthropologist.
Right.
By tra- so the first one for me that sticks out is culturally rather than geographically, we are so strongly related. That's why our cryptids, not because our mountains were
Right.
crunched together 170 million years ago.
So cryptids are more of a cultural phenomenon than a geographic phenomenon.
That's what that idea would support, was that yes, cryptids are cultural rather than biological. Because when you're talking that many million years of time depth, 170 million years ago, there weren't even dinosaurs.
Yeah, even our squirrels aren't the same from here
Uh, right. I mean,
to the
trilobites
British
were
Isles.
around. I mean,
Yeah.
it, uh, just evolution, the process of evolution would mean separated by 170 million years ago, we would not have the same if cryptids are
Well, considering that cryptids are
biological.
also, I don't want to say contagious, but they are somewhat contagious in
They're
that.
culturally contagious, yes.
Yes, because you hear people talking about in the Appalachians windy boys and stuff like that, and that's clearly a reference to either the Skinwalker or a Wendigo, which are not culturally native to the Appalachians.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, well, things are gonna spread, but at the core, what you are afraid of is heavily culturally driven,
Right, right. So
and
so you're not
so
finding
these are
very
gonna
much
very similar
link
features.
to any of the cryptids in, say, Scotland or any of the stories of Scottish cryptids
They're very similar
other
in a lot of
than
ways.
other than that cannot be explained by simply being a lot of Scottish. Oh, no, did I lose
Correct.
you? Okay, sorry.
No, 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 sorry, no,
I had a computer
no.
problem.
Oh, sorry.
I'm good.
So,
I'm good.
no, I didn't find anything that was like, these are obviously like you're seeing exactly the same thing even if it's described differently in all the places. I was finding things that I found to be very appropriate to their cultures. Like I kept finding for Eastern Greenland things that sounded very, if you know, Scottish and Irish, uh, kind of cryptids, like selkies and things like that. Things
Right.
related to the sea, to water, things
Right.
like that. You don't see that in Appalachia because they don't have those types of bodies of water.
Very
In
true.
Morocco, of course, you know, very culturally significant are going to be things like jinn and those
Yes, because
types of
you have the heavy
spirits.
influence of the rest of the Middle East.
Right. And so that you see more of that. And it was more cryptids seem to be more what you're culturally scared of. But there is one thing that we can bring up that doesn't explain it necessarily, but could be an explanation for it. I was watching one of Piper CJ's videos, which I love her videos when she talks about folklore and culture.
Mhm.
And this one was about Slender Man.
Yes,
And she was talking
I've
about
seen.
all these things. And that's not really like anything related to any of this. But one of the things she said was, and what does Slender Man sound like? When you describe him like this, he sounds like our description of aliens. And what do I think aliens are? Aliens are fae.
Right,
Aliens, all
right,
of these sightings are fae. They're from another dimension. And it's like, oh, well, in that case, if these mountains are somehow a trigger for this dimensional shift, culturally we would describe these fae differently and interact with them differently, but maybe they are all the same.
right, right,
But our culture is changing how we interact with them. So those are my two ideas. Either uh, cryptids are completely cultural, or
right.
if you could say cryptids are fae derived, our culture determines how we interact
Even if the creature may be similar, depending on where you are in the country or world, you are going to describe it and interact with it in a different way.
in a way that is culturally significant to you.
Okay.
Yeah, because like hearing your name out in the woods may not scare you in some places, but in Appalachia and Scotland, you don't want to hear
You
that.
don't wanna do it, right. Well, and that's also heavy influence of the Scottish and Celtic, uh,
Mhm.
take on fairies and fae.
Again, Faye. Yeah, and that's why I brought that in. I was
Or
like, well,
Morocco
that kind of
gin.
triggers. Right. They're seen as supernatural being, you know, something
Right.
that doesn't
And if it's calling your
exist
name,
within
that's
our
not good.
evolutionary trail. Huh?
And if they're calling your name, it's not good.
No, it's not good. If they know your name,
Unless
that's bad.
the Disney fairies, yeah, I have to
Oh,
say
yeah.
that, culturally, we are putting ourselves in danger by saying Tinkerbell is a nice fairy. Fairies
Right.
are
No, you
not
don't want to believe
nice.
that.
If you have
No.
any Celtic, ancestry, you should know that all the way in your bones.
Right. Not
They're
good.
not nice.
You don't want to be abducted. You don't want to be friends because they don't want to.
No, no. And if they're calling your name, well, what is that saying you always hear on the videos, or, on the
If you
little
heard your
TikTok and
name,
stuff?
no, you didn't.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
No,
You
you
saw
didn't.
something? No, you
No,
didn't.
you didn't. You saw
Yep.
a shape in the trees? No, you didn't.
That's what first got my attention about some of these is just like, was that "no, you didn't" phrase when it was
Mhm.
coming from people, and I'm like, "Oh, because that
But
is,
that's
don't
also
pay attention, don't acknowledge, don't thank, don't do anything. Nope, you didn't."
and that's very fey, but it's also very native um, to the North American continent. There's a lot of you didn't see that.
Right, because you don't
Do not
acknowledge these
interact.
creatures.
Yeah. So again, if we go
Acknowledging
back
them is
to
gonna,
that's fey, yeah.
yeah.
But their expression, their understanding, the way we express them to each other is based on our own cultures. Kind of where
Okay,
my research led me with that one. So, I mean, we
okay.
can talk about a little bit some of these different ones that are out there. I mean, we already know about jinns, which are spirits, and you can trap them like in the like piling up rocks certain ways, kind of like keeping a
Right,
genie in a
but
bottle.
also very dangerous.
Very, very dangerous, very powerful. And again, you hear your name from one, you're in trouble, which then goes back. You can tie that back into the British Isles, and you hear your name from something ethereal, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Um, I didn't find a whole lot on Finland, but I assume it would be closely related to anything in Denmark and that type of area, and you know more
Yep.
about that.
I've never really discussed things like fairies or fae, um, but I mean, I do believe that that they have a lot of the same attitudes as the British Isles. You know,
Okay, they
these are not friendly little creatures. They may do something for you, but there's always a cost, especially if you
right.
screw up and break the rules, even though you may not
Mhm.
even know what the rules are.
Mhm. And then there's that connection very similar to that between I saw in both Greenland and then Scotland, these ideas of the seals. They look like seals, but they can shed that skin and then look like a human. And if you hide that skin and they can't go back to it,
Right,
then
right.
they'll
Salty.
stay human and then they'll be obedient, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, if they get that skin back, there
They're out.
is a cost.
Yep. They're out and you're gonna pay a price.
Right. And kind of similar things were showing up, but they're geographically still incredibly close as well.
True. True. They are fairly close geographically.
So, it's
True.
just kind of,
Okay. So at least the original premise with these videos starting out saying, "Hey, they used to all
it's
be
true.
one mountain range."
That does seem to track. The exact time depth seems to be a little different, but
Yeah,
not in a
that's
way that I think is significant.
right. It's not enough different.
Nope, but
But
they are geographically, yep, they are related. Now, the Scottish Highlands are geographically closer related to, of course, northern Appalachia, which is somewhat different from southern
yeah.
Appalachia. And I don't know if our perspective that when we say Appalachia, we think of southern is just because of our geographic location, or if that's just kind of in general, people think
I think that's kind of
more.
in general. People kind of that's what they're thinking of is the southern part.
Okay.
Because you
Okay.
don't really hear stories that are not from that part, the Virginia and
They do, at least in my experience, all seem to be that southern part, West Virginia, Virginia, Carolinas,
especially West
over into
Virginia, Virginia.
Kentucky. Yeah. I mean, a little bit when you start talking New Hampshire, Vermont, you kind of think about, oh yeah, there's some spookiness up in those woods and stuff, but it's not like this specific, individual. Here's Mothman. Here's
Right.
Bigfoot. Here's
Flatwoods Monster.
Flatwoods Monster, Boggy Creek Monster. We have lots and lots. The more I look into it, we have lots and lots of big ape like cryptids throughout these regions, which is
Oh,
interesting.
okay.
It seems to be a very common one. So, but then when you look at, like, then say Japanese cryptids, which we've talked a little bit about on this channel, and how incredibly different they are from any of the,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't have the same sort of basis that we do.
yeah, it's they're completely different and you interact with them differently and it's not so much don't interact as well they're just dangerous, but I mean dangerous like a bear, not like now you're going to get your soul type.
Right.
There's a lot of that. It's just very 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 different than those. So there is a connection in some ways, but it's just so very culturally different
Yeah, I have to
how
say
you're
that
going to perceive it.
comparing a cryptid from West Virginia and one from rural Japan, you're not going to have a whole lot of similarities other than you're probably going to die if you run into it.
Right. I mean, there's that fear that there's something out there that can kill you. I mean, that's a very valid fear to have, but the nuances of it are very, very different. And I feel like in like Morocco and stuff that they're also very, very different. But those cultural influences again are very foreign to what we're familiar with. So, but that was basically after all of that research I did for weeks and weeks. That's what I came down to is one, either they're completely cultural
Yeah, yeah.
or these central Pangean mountains somehow attract this dimensional shifting fey type quality, and therefore you have higher levels of activity than you
Yeah, well, I mean,
other.
you do see stories with these types of creatures in more liminal spaces like backwoods, unpopulated, what you think of the
Oh, always.
Appalachian. And then you start seeing them in places like the deep deserts, where you start seeing skinwalkers, or the, sort of frozen wasteland areas that before modern travel and heating and whatnot were almost inaccessible and almost unsurvivable many parts of the year unless you were a native, and you get the Wendigo and stuff like that. Um, so yes, you're getting very liminal spaces that were, either not populated all year or not easily inhabited, or for whatever
Right,
reason
when
have
there's
simply
no
stayed uninhabited
witnesses.
because they're too steep, too rocky, just too they're too difficult, and so they have a liminal nature, which would, that
Yes,
would definitely tie into.
definitely, definitely. And that's so it activates our fears to be in those spaces. So
Yep.
Mothman is kind of an
He,
outlier for that. He's more
well, I
urban.
mean, he was in the city.
Yeah, I mean, he's always showing up with it's more infrastructure. Like it's way more populated stuff.
But
Mothman's
I mean, we
funny.
are
He's
still sort
different.
of talking West Virginia, though.
True,
I think the whole state
true.
might be haunted.
But he was found in other places like Germany and South America and stuff like that. He's been spotted.
Oh, he had to go on his world tour.
He did. That's he.
He just had
But
his little world tour,
yeah,
everybody does that.
much more. Who doesn't? But much more industrial settings for him.
It was
More
his gap
popular.
year,
Oh, so then he went to Mothman University, and
probably. I mean, we
ah,
haven't heard from him in a while, so he
that's
must be
true. It's
busy.
been a good long while. What was the last one? Chicago?
I can't remember the timeline on that.
There, I remember we talked about Chicago, and it was in the 2000s.
Yeah.
So he's funny that way. Everyone else tends to be. All the rest of them are. They're cryptids because they're not out in the open. They're not something you can find easily. And interestingly, you can't find them at all. So that either argues, again, they're cultural, not real biological entities, or they're fae. They're going back to another dimension. That's
To
why you
wherever
never
they
find a
go.
body. Yeah.
Maybe
So
I've been too hard on the people of Flatwoods and their Flatwoods monster. Maybe,
that it
maybe I've been too
really
hard on
was.
them. That maybe it was real. It wasn't just an owl, and she was drunk, and the children were scared.
But that really explains a lot.
Yeah, maybe I've been too hard on him though. Maybe it really was. It wasn't a space alien landing on a meteorite.
Uh,
I, my gut just tells me that no, that was nothing. I mean, really,
no,
my
it
gut
probably.
tells me on Flatwoods, no, there's really nothing to see here. This isn't a don't see the man behind the curtain. There is nothing to see here.
Well, that's something about it is that it was kind of a one-time thing, basically.
Right, and just everything, even just the description of it when you read it, you're like, that's an owl.
Right. But
I
some
mean,
of
that's an
these
owl.
are supposedly repeated over and over and over to the same people or same regions, multiple people, and those are the ones that kind of get more.
Yeah, but hey, they got
So,
famous for it. That's the only thing they're known for, as far as I can tell.
yeah,
So,
it's not a very big area.
I mean, where is Flatwoods? Is Flatwoods in Appalachia?
Let me pull up my map. I had it open.
I know it was at least um Hilly or mountainous at least, but I don't know if it is actually in the mountains. It's in the middle of something there.
It's in the
Nah,
middle
it's
of
off to
West
the
Virginia.
side. It's off to the west. I mean, it's sort of, it looks like it's got its own little hilly region there, but
No, it's in the foothills. It looks like it's in the foothills.
but it's a little west of the main mountain range. But it may be close enough to still count.
Yeah, no, it looks like it. When you type in Appalachian Mountains, it encompasses that area.
Okay. I don't know. I
It's
just
in the foothills of it.
I just can't really bring myself to believe in the Flatwoods monster.
Probably
Maybe I
not.
need a
That's a one
poster
time.
with that and be like, I want to believe, like the Mulder poster.
Yes, yes, the
But
X Files.
yeah,
I
there's,
want to believe in the flat words.
but I just can't. I've
Yep.
tried. I just can't.
Yeah, but I mean, we've gone looking for a bunch of things in this area, which was kind of related, and we've never found any of the
No,
things. No spook lights or that.
no, certainly no demon horse or whatever that was.
Right. Oh, a lot of the
Just
things are supposed to be hauntings, which is
right.
different. That's bad. None of them have haunted, except for the hotel room at the Crescent.
Yes, I mean, you guys did have that experience in the hotel room. I have not. I've never ran into one there. So, but there
You'll
were a
have to
couple of
check it
cells at
out
the
in October.
yeah, there were a couple of rooms at that at the Jefferson City
Hmm.
at the prison that I was just like, well, I'm not going in there. I couldn't see anything in there, and no photos, no sounds. Just yeah, I'm not going in there. I
Yeah.
don't know why it would be like that one. No, one next door, sure.
It was just overall very dark and oppressive.
Yeah, that one was creepy. But anyway, that's off topic.
Oh, yep. Yep. Hauntings are different. They don't fall under this at all. And I didn't look into hauntings and how they're experienced throughout these different at all.
Right.
I
Well, and that's
typically
not
for
usually what they're talking about. They're not talking about hauntings.
right. I was looking specifically for supernatural or hidden creatures or monsters.
Right. Because ghost
But
stories are a completely different thing and don't have anything to
oh
do
yeah.
with something that split off.
Right. Well, and ghosts cross culturally, it's very interesting. They are perceived very differently, not only in how they are physically perceived, what you think you're seeing when you think you're seeing a ghost, but what their intentions are thought to be and things
Right.
like
What
that, or
their
what's expected
capabilities are.
behavior. Yeah. So very different. The only thing in common is that they are spirits of dead people.
Right.
Well, sometimes they're not even that. Ghosts are actually
Yeah. Well,
like
depending on
their
what type of
own.
haunting you have, but that's a whole different
Yeah.
topic too.
Right. But I mean, like cross culturally, like in some cultures, ghosts are never dead people. They're
They're
dead.
always, yeah, demons or spirits.
So I guess in that case, they're more cryptidy, but I didn't that.
Maybe, but I don't think that wasn't really what they were trying to get at in those posts. So
No, but I think the takeaway message can be overall those posts are valid. They're true in that yes, that they are geographically connected and culturally connected, but
yeah,
they're
but
leaving a little
whether or
bit
not
out.
similarities between stories of cryptids is cultural or geographical is impossible to determine.
Yeah, it feels very much it's cultural, just because of the time depth that they've been separated.
Yeah. Well, and then to go and get settled by
The
people
exact
from
same
that
people.
region, it's like, okay, that's going to muddy the water a little.
It does a whole lot,
If
and
no
I just
Scottish
it's
or British people ever moved there and it was all strictly like Southern European or German, then it'd be like, oh, well, that's weird that they're so similar.
yes, yes.
But yeah,
Yeah, and Central European tends to be it seems like their cryptids and supernatural creatures are focused on like they can't cross running water and stuff like that. They're very different.
the more vampire werewolf,
Yeah, just a whole
bound
lot of
by
cryptids.
religious rules.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So I would expect if the area were more heavily influenced culturally by that, that's what we so
yeah, and you don't see a
technically
lot of those.
TikTok's right, but they're leaving a lot out.
You're right.
That's my take.
Yeah, they missed the whole sections where there's no similarities or
Yeah.
limited similarities.
Right. Just ignore that. Oh, yeah. It's much more spooky when you say they used to be the same range and they have the same monsters. It's much more spooky.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. That it's like, but wait, do they? Nah, only sorta.
Only sort of. So my Snopes rating would be true but incomplete.
Okay, but incomplete.
Incomplete.
I agree. It sounds like it is because a lot of it can just simply be explained culturally.
Yep. Way too much.
But
So, but I'll leave open the
interesting.
Fae possibility.
Yep. But still interesting.
Yep. So that is what I learned. I'll try to
All right.
post like some of the links to uh, some of the places that I got the info.
Yeah. Post a link to the dinosaur thing.
Oh yeah, that one's super cool. That'll go. What was in dinosaur pics? Dinosaur picture.
Yeah, something like that. I'll have to look it up if you don't have it.
I do. I have it. It's dinosaur pictures
Dinosaur picture. Okay.
plural. So and then go onto the ancient Earth globe link. Super fun.
Yeah. Even if it's may not be accurate. I mean, I don't know how accurate it can be. So
The map or
yeah,
yeah,
since it's an
it's
animation that you can get freely on the internet, but it's
right. I
working.
think yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, like they give some good information. Like 170 million years ago is the Jurassic period, and 470 million years ago is the Ordovician period. So there's no
Yeah.
life on land. Things like that. So it's not completely like wackadoodle.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Have to go look at it.
it was cool. It was fun to just sit there and plug in different places and then look through different time periods where those places. So worth a look, even if you're not looking for Central Pangean Mountain.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that was a lot of research.
it was. It was, but it was very interesting. Learned a
That's
lot.
a lot of fun though.
It was. It was. So, anyway, what do we want to cover next?
Now, that is a good question. Um, Let me take a peek because I did have something marked.
You did, but I don't know if you're going to have time now that.
Yeah. Hang on. Up there. I always lose my link to the notes. Oh well, we kind of talked about it today. I forgot that it was Flatwoods Monster.
Oh, Flatwoods Monster.
I
Okay, well, that
I
one
may
won't be
have
a
I've
ton.
already tipped my hand to the conclusion on the Flatwoods Monster.
Maybe we should put Flatwoods Monster off for a little while then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I absolutely I tipped
I
my
don't
hand
believe in
there.
it.
Well, maybe I'll do more research and maybe I will believe in the Flatwood Monster by next time.
Ooh, okay. Okay, that's what we'll start with.
Maybe.
Believe.
I will attempt to believe in the Flatwoods Monster.
Oh no.
He's not an owl. He's not an owl.
Oh
like,
no.
okay, we'll try. So maybe not.
Okay. All right. That's what we'll be aiming for next time. Hopefully, it won't be so long between recordings this time.
Hopefully not.
So,
Hopefully
alrighty.
not. All right.
Okay. We'll see y'all later.
Later.
Bye.